Hello, welcome back to another Website Depot podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Greg Benevent, and today I'm lucky to be once again joined by Kat Lev. How you doing here, Kat?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hanging in, hanging in. By the way, for those of you watching at home, if you're seeing me without the Website Depot background, that's because my computer's internet did not work. So that means we've moved to my phone, and that's why you'll be seeing this. But enough about me. Kat had a wonderful topic that she was going to come on to talk about today. That personally something I'm very interested in, both as a marketing professional and in my own life, is about. I know for a lot of us, social media and posting all that kind of thing, it can almost feel like a chore sometimes. The modern day equivalent of taking out the trash. And I know you wanted to come on, Kat, and talk to us about, hey, what can someone do about posting when they just feel like they're out of ideas and they don't want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very guilty of having a creative rut, and that gets in the way of my work, especially as someone who works with social media, and I'm hired to come up with the ideas to help. It's like, what do you do when you're the person like when your job is when you can't even do your job? But yeah, what do you do when you're the creative when you can't do anything creative? So I've come up with a couple of things for social media in particular about how to break out of a creative rut. And so I have a little bit of a list, which is something
Please,
I
please.
wrote down today. So, in no order at all, but just things that have helped me personally of when I'm like, I really don't want to do this. Or
Hmm.
like, everyone has days where it's just a chore to even be alive. So, this is to kind of help take off some ease of if you need to think about what you think about more creative ideas for yourself and your job. So this one is an idea is to look at the news and make posts about it, and if it relates to you and your product. Like there's so much thing. I mean, I know that's as simple as it is, but as reading a newspaper, seeing what's trending on Twitter, like using the trending hashtags, if there's something that you can relate to or something that your company can relate to or post about, because you're not only are you putting something out there for your company and having your name a part of it and all helping with algorithms of keywords, but also your followers will learn something new, and they'll it also will make them start to connect things. Like if you are a bar and there's a new cider that is popular in the UK, there's no reason why you can't post about that. And you might not sell that particular cider, but to talk about ciders and the effects they have, that's another thing of, we don't have this cider, but we have our own ciders. Why don't you try ours? There's so many different ways that you can correlate what you're reading in the news, no matter where in the world, back to your product and back to your company. And so, as simple as being like, I'm going to see what's in the news, there could be something, a new product, a new headline, a new whatever, but something that could make an idea to post about. Another one would be to post pop culture pictures or edit pictures to match your aesthetic. So, part of what helps aesthetics or helps images about to get more people to connect their favorite images or their favorite pop culture icons to your product or your company. You can post, people that you like, cool pop culture pictures, because it's cool and it's relatable. And if you see a picture of Princess Diana getting into whatever, getting food or something, and you are a restaurant, and there's a way that you can market what your restaurant is and what your product is to this picture. Or if you are a record store and there's a new concert going on in LA, you can post about the concert, and you can post a picture from the concert. And just everything that you're doing at the end of the day should just come back to what you represent as your company. But if you're not able to come up with any ideas or anything for content, taking your resources from the news and from just pop culture also helps increase your visibility. If you're a pizza company, there are movies where people are eating pizza. All you have to do is screenshot that and go mood. Like it's an average. It works for itself, but it's so simple and especially coming up with different ideas on what movies or what, pieces of art that you like that bring back to your company.
Mm.
You can search reviews online of your products and your company and either put them on photos, like taking the words of the reviews as a photo and just having that be something to post about that day. Or if you have a photo but you just don't have any ideas for captions, you can use a review. It's so easy, but you're also putting out there more information that someone might have not known 5 minutes ago. Another would be to, in a similar theme, if there's something you want to say but you don't have a picture for, or you don't have the creative, mindset that day to come up with a picture, you can just make a font, like make a very pretty text post. You can use those in Photoshop, you can use those in PicMonkey, you can use those any photo editing app or service that you know of. It's so easy to just pick a nice font, a nice color, or use your specific colors or schemes for your company. But just making a post that has what you want to say. 30% sale today. If you
Mm.
make it just look simple and clean and it's pretty, a text post works. There
Ah.
doesn't really need to have a Niagara Falls waterfall in the background that you shot yourself and you edited, like, to have a nice message. Like, if there's something you want to say and you just don't have a picture for it,
Mhm.
there's no reason why you can't just make a nice font print photo. And so
Gotcha.
those are my top creative rut helpers that I rely on heavily.
No, and those are great because I was struck by what I love so much about what you said is that like that what you gave is a solution to get somebody out of a creative rut today, but it also feels like that's something to get someone out of a creative rut for like a week. You
Hmm.
can try each of those different ideas on a different day. It's and it seems like for what I got from what you were saying is that kind of feeds into a bit of the idea of trial and error. I
Hmm.
mean, I know as a person, and sorry, I mean to talk over you, but I mean, I know that like when I'm starting to post social media, I always think like, oh, geez, is this as good as what we were posting the other day? Does this live up to that standard? But I know that that's not the right mindset to have about such things, right?
Hmm. Yeah. And it also helps, it makes you excited about things. Like if you start and you get it, if your company and what your social media posting is, that if it allows you to be able to post, the pictures from movies and screenshots, that's a whole, you're able to go down a whole rabbit hole of what movies do you like? What movies do you think would fit with your company? Is it more of a cartoons eating pizza, or is it, a picture that you can Photoshop of Pride and Prejudice of them eating pizza instead of having tea? There's just many creative ways that you can make it work for you specifically in your company.
Right. I see. And I think that from what you're saying, it gets back to there's so much of this does kind of the idea of branding.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
right. Well, it's yeah. I guess that okay. So what you're saying is just kind of sum this up here for folks. It's like, all right, if it's not your social media, okay, you're not feeling it today, but go through some of these ideas, see which of them jog your mind, and then just kind of play with something. I mean, it's do you when it how do I word this? Like, is it if you're when you post something, do you typically plan that ahead of time? Do you like, okay, here's an outline, here's the best way of doing this? You're just like, bam, this is it. I mean, is it, maybe process is a question too. Is maybe, I mean, to make several videos out of today, but is there something like it's maybe try getting something down just in front of you and think about it before putting that up or what do you think?
Yeah. What I'll do personally is I use a couple of different apps and even just trial and testing what would look good next. But you can take a look at what your outline is for the week. And so when you're coming up with content and you're trying to figure out what to post next, and say you're waiting on, an ad, or you're waiting on a photo that is going to come to you, but it's not coming soon enough, and you're trying to come up with something to post that week. These are the things that I'll throw in of while I'm waiting for either an opportunity to take more photos or get more content or receive more. So it's what I call filler photos.
That's great. That's great. I think I mean, the reason I ask is this, and I don't mean to keep coming back to this part of the process for me, but I think so much people, when part of where that reticence and that feeling of not wanting to post on social media comes from a feeling of judging it too much before they put it down.
Hmm.
And I think simply by having what you've said is so great about having these filler photos, having about these other things where, hey, you can look at it for a second, you can give it 10 minutes, see how it feels, and then post it. You don't have to just, okay, quick, something perfect now, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, okay. So the tips you can take from today is that see what's in the news, see what fits your company. You know, look at movies, look at things that you can put in, something that's related to your business, current events, something that's going on in your area, and always, you know. And the other thing I took from it when you were talking about the pizza and the Pride and Prejudice and the concerts and all that, it doesn't have, and the cider thing, which is great. It doesn't have to be directly connected.
Hmm.
It doesn't have, you can, it can, there can be something tenuous. It doesn't have to be one to one, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. All right, well, that's personally, I like I said, even beyond business, I was inspired. I'm going to remember a lot of that. So thank you, Kat, and Sever, it's always good to have you on here.
Thank
So
you so much.
on behalf of Website Depot, my name is Greg Benefit. Take it easy. Have a good night.